So let's get this straight. Water is the most important substance on Earth, but you can purchase a bottle of it for less than $1? If it's so important, shouldn't it cost more? On the other hand, we don't need diamonds to live. We can't eat or drink them. They're mostly just pretty to look at. And yet even the smallest diamonds cost hundreds of dollars. This water-diamond paradox, or the paradox of value, troubled economists for centuries. It wasn't until 1871 that a good explanation emerged. It changed everything. In 1871, at age 31, an economic journalist in Vienna named Karl Menger published Principles of Economics. Among its revelations was the law of marginal utility, which not only answered the water-diamond paradox, but also established Menger as the father of the Austrian school of economic thought. Menger's pupil, Eugen von Bumbawach, developed the idea further. Consider a man who buys 4 bottles of water per day. He will naturally use the first bottle to take care of the most urgent need water can satisfy, quenching his thirst. The next bottle he might give to his wife so she can drink. The third might be poured into his dog's bowl. The fourth might be poured at the base of his favorite tree. And if one day the man is only able to buy 3 water bottles, his lowest or marginal priority, the tree, will go without. It is that marginal bottle of water, not water in general, which costs so much less than the diamond. The marginal revolution turned economics on its head, and the corresponding subjective theory of value, that the man's ranking of priorities depends on his own judgment and desires, acknowledged a deep truth about the world, that human action is too complex to be centrally planned. Trust us, we'll get to human action, Ludwig von Mises's treatise on economics. But first, why did Austria, of all places, foster such brilliant advances in thought?
Austria at the time was a place of contradictions, and it was in particular in the hubs like Vienna that you could see all those contradictions. And next to the economic contradictions, you had the political contradictions of an old order. So it was a pre-modern governance structure that really couldn't cope with the dynamic change of society. And that triggered what I call an Austrian Enlightenment.
Modern pop culture romanticizes the cafes of 20th century Paris, where turtleneck-wearing writers drank coffee and smoked cigarettes late into the night, discussing existentialism. But Vienna coffee shops were the original melting pot of honest, open debate and diversity of thought.
And really the peak of the Austrian school was within the salon and coffee shop tradition of interdisciplinary exchange outside of university seminar. And so most people knew each other, and they knew each other from the private gatherings in the salons and in the coffee shops. You would know, based on your interest, you'd know which coffee shop to go to.
Into that setting of intellectual curiosity marched Ludwig von Mises, who enrolled at the University of Vienna in the year 1900. There, he attended lectures by Bumbawach and learned to appreciate Menger's ideas. Above all, that people will trade something they value less for something they value more, and that, therefore, both sides gain from voluntary exchange. Mises took that idea a step further, identifying that humans act, they drink, they move, they trade, as a way to relieve feelings of uneasiness, and that we use reason to evaluate and rank different options. We could never do justice to human action in a YouTube video, so we encourage you to research Mises's background and ideas for yourself, and share your thoughts in the comments. But perhaps his most powerful contribution was his takedown of socialism. Centrally planned economies, Mises wrote, can't determine prices. Actually, though, the Austrian economists were among the first to truly contend with Marxism, fascism, and more generally, collectivism.
Most members of the Austrian school did take it seriously. They were interested in theoretical debate, in debate about economics and human action mostly. And Mises, in particular in his circle, he had visitors, socialist visitors.
Which makes it even more ironic that the Austrian school evolved around the same time and in the same geographic area in which Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin rose to power. Part of their power derived from the historical school of economic thought, which the Austrian school so vehemently disagreed with.
The stronger enemies seemed to be in the historical school. They were opposed to what they saw as a universalist process of understanding human beings, and they thought there is no economics because there's only German economics and British economics and Jewish economics, which seems crazy for us nowadays, this kind of thought, but it really was the prevalent thought.
In addition to millions of lives, World War II and the specter of collectivism destroyed Vienna's culture of open debate. Fear of the Nazis forced many of the Austrian economists to flee Europe. Many of them were Jewish, after all. But neither Hitler, nor Stalin, nor Roosevelt, not even Trump or Biden, could destroy the ideas the Austrian school had developed and spread throughout the world. And in 1974, the Austrian school earned long-deserved formal recognition when Friedrich Hayek won the Nobel Prize. In the more modern work of Murray Rothbard, Stephen Horwitz, and Peter Boettke, and really anytime you see someone buy, sell, or drink from a water bottle, the Austrian tradition lives on.